Welcome to the Transportation Committee meeting of Wednesday, July 26. I'm Councilmember Mike Bonin here with my colleague Paul Koretz. I believe Ms. Martinez will be joining us. We have a newly constituted and smaller three-member committee, so thank you for being our quorum. Let me just start, as is customary, with the multimodal roll call. Since we haven't been here since June, right? Who since June has used the bus? Who since June has used a train? Who since June has carpooled? Okay. Who since June has used a bicycle? Pedestrians? Room still never gets it. Who in this room since June has been to a meeting on a road diet? Okay, cool. So we are going to begin with public comment. Mr. Spindler, we'll start with you. Two minutes for all the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
Good. So we'll start shout out to John and Ken KFI, who had a big event in your district to recall the Mike Bonin recall. Why? Because you're giving road diets. You're holding up all the traffic from LAX all the way to Manhattan Beach, all the way to the 405, because you're shutting down roads of traffic and putting people out of business. For what reason? Well, there's only one reason I could think of, and nobody could think of it: drug use. See, this is what happens when you take too many drugs and too many years of drug abuse. You wake up one morning and you go, I know, I can reduce traffic by taking lanes of traffic away. Because people will get out of their cars and stop using their cars and walk to fucking work 19 miles, 25 miles one way. No.
That concludes your 1 minute of general public comment.
No.
Now you need to refer to the items on the agenda that you filled out speaker credits for.
All right. So number one, we addressed the drug addicts on number one, dealing with mobility, pedestrian cyclists. Open up the traffic in Mar Vista, get the cyclists off of the streets, and stop taking away
Mr. Herman, which item are you referring to on the agenda, or Mr. Spindler?
Number one, taking away traffic lanes against cars for these fucking cyclists that are a bunch of terrorists on two wheels, because it makes no sense that you have to exclude automobiles on roads of traffic just for a fucking guy on a bicycle that thinks he's going to drive to work on a bicycle. Nobody commutes on a bicycle. You get to work, you sweat. Where are you going to shower? How are you going to use a bicycle? People use automobiles. Like when you get to number 7, okay? Open up the traffic lanes in Mar Vista. Open up the traffic lanes in Playa del Rey. That's your LA DOT report. I understand drug abuse is a bad thing, and I know the 11th District is being commanded by an absolute lunatic, and John and Ken has pointed out that LA DOT needs to get rid of those goddamn traffic lanes and put them back in the stream. We can share between motorists and non-motorists. We can share between bicycles and motorcycles and cars. But to take the lanes of traffic away from the taxpayers and hold everybody up in traffic so emergency vehicles can't go to save somebody's life in a situation of a heart attack or, God forbid, a fire at some place on Mar Vista or Playa del Rey is fucking insane. They were on KFI and 500,000 people listening to this, and they don't understand. You don't do shit because you don't hold yourself accountable to the people, and the only thing I can come up with is this is the work of a drug addict. There's nobody in their right mind that's going to take away and put a road diet. There's no such thing as a road diet. It's all bullshit. Open the fucking roads up.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. Mr. Herman.
Yeah, I want to thank.
Are you going to start with your 1 minute of general public comment, or your 2 minutes referring to the items on the agenda?
I'm referring to my fucking 3 minutes, fool.
All right. Would you put 1 minute on the clock, please? You have general public comment
That's
now.
fine, fool. I got 3 fucking minutes, though. Don't interrupt me. That's why I don't take drugs. That's why I never did drugs. I don't lock my goddamn white ass in a closet and get high. Shit. Watch all those stupid motherfuckers back in the 70s, 80s doing that PCP shit. Now we got these motherfuckers snorting coke and fucking whacking off with crack cocaine.
Does this have anything to do with transportation?
General public comment, Mr. Puppa Pig.
Mr. Herman,
refer to transportation.
General public comment in a committee means general public comment on matters within this committee's jurisdiction. That's transportation matters.
Yeah. Like when I get up and drink my goddamn beer to get on the train, so I have to listen to all the fucking bullshit of those fucking crazy niggas on the train playing their fucking music and smoking their fucking shit on the train. I don't like it. I don't like it. You want me to use public transportation? I'd rather walk, I'd rather fly on a plane, and I'd rather fucking ride on a skateboard. But I ain't no fucking fool doing drugs, PCP, crack cocaine. See, that's the problem with America. All you fucking whacks need mental health days. Take my opinion, it might work. Now I'm going to item number 1, motherfucker. Put the 2 minutes back on. See, when it comes to road diets, you ought to get on a diet, Mr. Parker-Retz, because when we talk about the ongoing projects and programs of services offered by this department and state mobility, I filed my complaint with goddamn dumb motherfuckers in Caltrans regarding I want curbs and ramps, because I can't use services if I'm disabled. I can't use services if I can't ride a motherfucking bike because I'm disabled. So you see, you white niggas, how can you put me out in the street and endanger myself when those stupid white motherfuckers drive down the street? No, I ain't that fucking foolish. That's why John Wall says, LA's the hit and run capital of the world. You'd be fucking crazy to be out on the street. But no, we got these road diets. The only fucking diet I need is in Santa Monica is to sit in a goddamn park beach on the side of the road and drink my fucking cold beer called a Corona. And then I go into resolution of Mr. Woo, East 43rd Place. Well, fuck him too. Fucking sellout motherfucker. And then I go into item 3, another parking district. Nobody wants preferential parking. Fucking disabled people can't afford parking. Why should they pay for preferential parking? My placard on my windshield says I'm disabled. Why should I pay for fucking parking in a private area? Fuck you niggas from Sacramento. And then I go into item number, Bloomfield the Jew, on item 4. Environmental clearance work for Lincoln Boulevard, Whiting Project. Another fucking diet. Stick your fucking diet assholes up your ass. And in my last 22 public comment seconds, I have to thank Jose Huiza, the fucking bald-head fat fuck, for planning department's report, because the list of transportation mitigation doesn't fit my criteria. Title I, Title II, Title III discrimination against a public entity. Fuck you.
Thank you, Mr. Herman. Mr. Koretz, I was going to recommend for consent items 2 through 6. Is that okay with you? All right. Items 2 through 6 are approved. That brings us to item number 1, which is the, go ahead.
Item number 1 is the general manager from LADOT to present a verbal report on the department's ongoing projects and the recognition of DOT employees for outstanding service.
And before you start, Ms. Reynolds, let me just notify Mr. Spindler and Mr. Herman that your voices are being disruptive, and this is your first and only warning. Next disruption, you're going to be escorted out. Please go ahead. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for the opportunity to come before this committee and recognize the outstanding folks that we have at LADOT. I really appreciate the time. Today we're recognizing folks from 2 different groups. One is from our project delivery group and the other is from field services and administration. So I'm going to start, and please stand when I call your name. I want to acknowledge a special individual from project delivery, Shirley Zamora, Transportation Engineering Associate 1. Shirley started working with LADOT as a student professional worker in 2012. She graduated from Cal State LA in 2015 with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering and has been with the East Valley District Office since January of 2016. She's just earned the State Engineering and Training Certificate this year in 2017, and she has been exceptional. She's completed 641 service requests with the East Valley District Office during the last fiscal year, mostly in CDs 6 and 7, the highest number for any engineer at her level. Notably, she conducted a technical study of diagonal crosswalks with initial implementation of diagonal crosswalks scheduled for the intersection of Sylvan Street and Sylmar Avenue next to the Van Nuys Municipal Building in CD6 during July of 2017. Shirley is a key member of the East Valley District's Vision Zero strike team. She's developed safety projects for the corridors of Roscoe Boulevard, Sepulveda Boulevard, and Broadway. And she's currently on special assignment with the Vision Zero team, providing technical support for the safety improvement projects recently implemented in CD11. I have to just stop here and say that Shirley has been calm, competent, professional, and exceptional, and we really appreciate the East Valley office giving us somebody like Shirley to help support the work that we've been doing over the last several weeks. We could not have done it without her, and we are very, very lucky to have her at LADOT. Her dedication goes beyond the 8 to 5 day. This spring, she made a presentation at the Institute of Transportation Engineers Western District Conference on Vision Zero projects. She works at night and on weekends as a member of the department's Special Traffic Operations team, assisting with traffic control for Dodger games, parades, marathons, and other special events throughout the city. Thank you so much, Shirley.
Shirley, thank you very much for your work and your help in my district over the past several weeks. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Now I'm going to recognize a couple folks from Administration and Field Services. First, Carrie Lum, Management Analyst from the Budget and Administration Division. Carrie is actually a former city librarian. She came to LADOT in May of 2015 to work on our parking division as a management analyst. After gaining experience and demonstrating leadership working on the department's LA Express Park and electrical vehicle car share pilot programs, and I have to just stop here and say, Carrie was part of the lead negotiating team to bring electric vehicle car sharing to Los Angeles, and that was a long process, difficult, required attention to detail, and Carrie just shined in that. Carrie sought a promotional opportunity in our Budget and Administration Division. She got this promotion about 6 months ago, and she's excelled at her new job. She's quickly picked up advanced skills and has mastered the technical art of financial reporting on the monthly financial status reports. Her assistance in developing our department's 2017-18 proposed budget was invaluable. Carrie is not outstanding just because she works hard, tries new things, and shows the ability to manage and produce at a high level. She is outstanding because she also has an amazing positive attitude. She brings a lightness to the group that is contagious. She truly is the employee that every manager would love to have, and LADOT is very lucky to have Carrie. And last but not least, Alexander Molina, System Analyst, Information Technology Division. In his first year with LADOT, Alex has accomplished outstanding work and has gone above and beyond to learn the various technologies within LADOT. He provides excellent customer service and support to computer end users. He is extremely proactive and constantly working on ways to streamline IT help desk functions. With his help and resourcefulness, the Information Technology Division has been able to deploy over 100 computer systems, resolve hundreds of service requests, and implement new services in the short time he's been on board. Alex is diligent, professional, and a really important, valuable asset to our department. Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kretz, any questions of the General Manager?
No.
Great. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, that brings us to item 7.
Item 7 is the DOT report in response to the adopted budget recommendation relative to instructing the department to report in regard to the time frame to complete the review of metro traffic plans and non-metro plans, and the report should include recommendations for streamlining the processes and the resources necessary to reduce turnaround time.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So let me just summarize sort of where we are and how I understand things. This item came up during our budget deliberations this year. One of the things that the committee was concerned about was reports of it taking too long to turn around review and approvals of things. I understand that things work very well with the metro projects, and they pay for some positions, which is great, but it had been taking longer than we had liked for some of the other projects, which might be private residential or commercial development, or might even be other city public works projects. So you and the DOT staff have put together a series of some recommendations of things you are doing and can do. So please just give me a quick summary of what it says.
Sure. I'll cover the metro project portion. Our division is responsible for the review and approval of all the plans prepared by consultants for projects in the Metro's annual work program. That includes the regional connector, the Crenshaw Light Rail, and the Purple Line extension. For the master cooperative agreement, the city has 20 working days for each plan review. For fiscal year 16-17, we reviewed 3,657 plans, and 97% of those reviews were completed within 20 business days, with 45% in 7 days or less. This workload represents a 75% increase from the prior fiscal year 15-16, when 2,090 plans were reviewed. With the passage of Measure M, we expect an increased number of projects in design and construction. To meet these upcoming demands, we have implemented several measures to improve the efficiency. First, we have begun co-location staff to Metro's Integrated Project Management Office for Purple Line Extension, and we'll co-locate additional staff to other project offices when Metro identify the space. This will increase the cooperation between the consultant, Metro, and DOT staff. We have implemented mid-level staff and earlier review and standardized our review process across all project teams to ensure there's consistencies in review comments. We also provide the consultant opportunities for pre-submittal meetings as well as over-the-shoulder review. All these steps are essential in reducing the number of rounds of review and the turnaround time. To further improve the efficiency, we have identified additional measures which will be implemented in the upcoming months. In the last 2 months, we have been testing a project management software called the E2020, which is similar to the one that BOE is using. The goal is to deploy this system in August in DOT for tracking the submittal to improve our workflow. Also, we're in the process of preparing a task order solicitation to hire consultants to support staff when there's overflow in workload. This is in addition to the 10 engineering positions that identified in the fiscal year 17-18 budget. We are committed to support Metro in the delivery of Measure M projects. We will continue to work diligently and be proactive in providing Metro solutions and guidance and resolving all the complex construction problems. We're focused on meeting the 20-day turnaround time for all the submittal and monitor closely the process to ensure that we accommodate the schedule demands of all the Metro design build projects. With that, I'll hand it over to my colleague, Randy Tanageri, to cover the non-Metro projects.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Randy Tanageri. I'm in charge of the permit plan division of the department. And my division, we review all the traffic signal and worksite traffic control plans for residential and commercial developments, and also for all the public works infrastructure projects, basically all the non-Metro projects, so the projects you are concerned about. Within the past 4 years, the city, as you know, has had a tremendous amount of growth. And we've had a surge of about 125% increase in plans within the past 4 years. Currently, our first submittals, we average about a 30-day turnaround, and it takes approximately 4 submittals in order to get approved. We recently implemented some streamlining strategies, and our goals were, 1, to try to improve efficiency of the review, and 2, to try to, one of the concerns was the quality of the plans. So we had some strategies to try to help the consultants to improve the quality of their plan review. So recently, we updated our department's webpage. We ensured that all the standards, guidelines, and we included sample plans are posted on the webpage so the consultants can access all the information needed to submit a quality plan. Number 2 is we started initiating pre-submittal meetings at the beginning of the year. At the pre-submittal meetings, staff meets with all the consultants and they do a concursory review of the plans. At this time, we make sure that all the plans meet the minimum standards and guidelines for our department. If they are not met, we reject the plans or return the plans to the consultant and they submit it at a later date once all the revisions have been made. And also recently, back in May, we had a consultant design seminar. At this seminar, we made sure we had 52 consultants attend. We made sure that all the consultants were aware of all the data available, all the guidelines that were available on the webpage, and we went through our design steps and how we review a plan and what's needed to get the plan approved. So hopefully at this meeting, all the consultants know our standards, and from May, all the plans hopefully will be coming at a better quality, which an improved, have a shorter turnaround time, and hopefully get approved quicker. The other thing is that we improved is we worked with BOE. Right now, there's a number. We also do the short-term worksite traffic control plans. Those are the ones where they have the cones and barricades in the streets. Prior, all the manhole permits and projects on local and collector streets had to have a plan reviewed by DOT. We were able to work with BOE to work on the language of the permits so that they could use what we call the watch manual. And now these plans do not have to go through LA DOT review, and reduces our workload for the more complicated plans. Now, in order to meet our goal for the 20 working day, we're always exploring new streamlining strategies and ideas. One thing that's before the Personnel Committee is a motion to add 5 positions to my section. These 5 positions will be only for development review of these plans. And we are committed that if these positions are approved, that we will improve our turnaround to the 20 working day period. And we also will staff the Building and Safety's one-stop counter with the person there. So if consultants want to have questions, they can go there and get their questions answered. So hopefully with these items, we will be able to meet our goal and improve the turnaround time for non-metro plan review.
Great. Thank you for the report. I read through the other stuff as well. I think it's great. I mean, I'd ask you to come back in 6 months and let us know how well it's working. But other than that, Mr. Kress, do you have any questions?
Yeah, a couple. One is on projects that we work with Metro on. How much do they fund our ability to provide mitigations and oversight for it?
For Metro project, basically, we will review the plans based on safety and department standards, and we ask Metro to basically make sure the plans meet those standards. But anything in addition to that, Metro would consider that as a betterment and would ask the city to contribute funding in order to implement those measures.
Okay, and I wonder if we've worked with them to help provide better warning and mitigation of traffic impacts of metro construction. Because there are certainly times when you get too close to a project and you're kind of trapped and have to make U-turns to get out of it and such because there haven't been enough warning signs. do we work closely with them to try and get them to do that more actively?
Yes, we will. Usually when a major detour and construction takes place on Metro project, DOT team will sit down with Metro's consultant and also Metro staff as well to develop a comprehensive traffic management mitigation plan to basically provide detours not only for the vehicles but also for cyclists and pedestrians as well. We want to ensure that advanced warning signs are in place. So that's what we do, and we'll continue to work with Metros on that.
Yeah, I can give you an example, although it's actually a Beverly Hills example. So I don't know if they don't do as good a job as we do, but there's an area around La Cienega Park where some days they block off Wilshire at Gale Street, which becomes Orlando in Los Angeles. But they never have good enough signage right at La Cienega. So you have to turn right to find out whether you can make a left turn onto Wilshire or not. But you're already trapped, and then you have to go past several streets and get back out to Olympic and circle around again up La Cienega. It probably adds 10 minutes to your trip every time. And yet you never know whether that's a good decision or not because there isn't timely signage. It happens a block or so into that trip, and once you see it, it's too late. I don't know if we do a good job of trying to make sure those things don't happen in the LA portion.
We will sure do that. We'll continue to review our plans with those in mind. One thing is that even though the design plan that we approve showing all the appropriate warning signs ahead of time, sometimes during implementation, contractor may or may not follow the design plan. So we'll continue to monitor to enforce the contractor implementation plan.
And also, I know sometimes when construction has taken place, and then it moves on to a later part of the project, what's left behind is sometimes a street that's not left in the condition that it was in before the construction started. So I don't know how aggressively we follow up on that to make sure that as we build the Purple Line, as we build some of the other lines, that the areas around are repaired and are at least in as good shape as when the project started.
Usually at the end of all the project, we have something called the restoration plans, which will restore all the striping as well as traffic signal to the appropriate standards. But that usually happens at the end of the project. Sometimes it includes restriping, sometimes it includes resurfacing or upgrade to all the signal and striping system.
And we feel pretty good about the fact that we've been able to follow up and get those streets back to the condition that they should be in.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, then it would be my recommendation to instruct the department to report back in 180 days, 6 months, with a determination on whether the permit plan review division has achieved the 20-day plan review goal for non-metro entities, and recommendations to reduce the city's striping and signal plan review time even further. Sound good? All right. Good.
Will we be holding this in committee pending the report back?
We can approve it as is. Okay. That concludes this meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.